So thank you so much for having us here. Me and Fia, we're very excited.
Welcome.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, Kim. I would love to hear more about you and hear your life in Spain.
My name is Kim van Helen. I am an energetic healer. I am a life coach for women. Energetic healing also for women. I focus very much on women because I understand their energy a lot more because I have it myself. Then I'm also an autism parent guidance coach. So I help parents to regulate themselves when they have children that are on the spectrum, because it takes a lot of your nervous system. It takes a lot on yourself when you're parenting a neurodivergent child. I host women's circles, and I'm reseller and instructor of an energetic tool called the e-harmonizers here in Spain.
Oh, wow.
So I do a lot.
That's amazing. I love it. You do a lot. So many plates and so many candles on your plate, right?
I used to be an executive secretary for over 20 years for the CEO, BP, Shell, the Dutch government. So I always had many hats on during my work. And I told my son, if I go to Spain, I want to start my own business and not be an employee of someone else.
Yes.
So I need to focus on the coaching business and on the life coaching and the autism parent coaching and the women's circles. And I still have many hats, but then in different layers instead of being a secretary.
How do you navigate those different hats, being a single parent?
When you have your own business, you also decide how much time and effort you put into it. I wake up at 6:30. That's when my day starts. I first meditate 15 minutes, then I journal or do gratitude practice.
Yes.
Most of the times I try to do both. If my time is short, I just do only gratitude practice. Then I wake up, shower, get myself dressed, walk my dog first, because I love to see the sunrise. And then I eat breakfast, wake up my son, he goes to work, and then I start my work. And that is around 8:30.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
So, I also even organize networking events for spiritual entrepreneurs. That is kind of like a side business.
Yes.
I used to do that every month, but because Autism Parent Guidance Coach is my new business, I decided to put more time in that one and less in the Aligned Network Circle. That is only 2 or 3 times a year now.
How long you've been now a single mom?
I'm single now for 12 years.
For 12 years.
Yeah.
So it was your decision to end your relationship.
Yeah.
And how was that as a woman, as an individual, knowing that you have a child together?
It wasn't easy.
No.
I saw a change in our relationship the moment my son was born. And I completely understand. My husband is on the spectrum. So is my son. My son is diagnosed when he was 5. I didn't know my husband would be on the spectrum, but as soon as I knew what my son has Asperger's, I started recognizing the same traits in my ex-husband. And because of his autism, he can be very self-centered. And in the beginning, I didn't notice that because I'm a coach for a reason. I've always been coaching people, unaware of it, but I coached my husband for many years.
Yes.
Even his own business coach told him, are you aware that your wife is coaching you, right? And I didn't know that. But when my son was born, I also worked. I was a secretary. I did everything in the house. I did the cooking, the cleaning, everything. I also was a mom. I worked and I was a wife. I could no longer be his coach. There was no time for me to do it. And then I saw a shift in him. He's starting to get more and more turning inwards towards himself. So did I. I started spending more and more time with my son. And by the time he was 5, we got his diagnosed. I put more and more effort in my son, normally, because they told us when he got diagnosed, he's a pretty intelligent boy. Don't put all your focus and attention to his challenges, but put it on his social skills because they have difficulty with social skills. So I actually became sort of a teacher to my own son.
Yes.
And that meant I had no time for my husband or little time. And he couldn't cope very well with the diagnosis. So he started to pull back more and more, went out with friends, played tennis, go motorcycling, cycling. He was away every weekend and I was alone with my son. And around when my son was 2, the terrible 2 started happening. With him, they were very heavy. Because he was on the spectrum, I didn't know. So overstimulation is something he had often. I wasn't aware of it. So I often had a completely overstimulated child at home, started screaming, crying. Me, no clue what to do. No one was able to tell me what to do. Everyone had different opinions.
Of course.
Like, you're not strict enough, you're not firm enough, you have to set your boundaries. And I'm a pretty strict parent. I'm raised by 2 Belgian parents. They're a lot stricter than Dutch parents. So I was I'm pretty strict, especially according to Dutch rules. And I have been swimming alone all the time. There was no shoulder for me to lean on. And by the time my son was, I think, 4 or 5, I started talking with my husband, like, we need to do something because we're drifting apart. And I want to give my son a stable and loving and supportive family. And I always thought the family should be the 3 of us. And by the time he was 6, I was kind of like, I started asking myself questions. Like, is this the image I want to give my son of how a marriage is supposed to look like? No, I don't. Is this what I want to teach my son about love? And you have to kind of lose yourself to maintain a marriage? No, I don't. So, and when those questions started popping up, I was like, okay, we can be a family, just the 2 of us. And then he actually sees who I truly am and what love is.
100%.
So then by the time he was 7, I was ready to divorce.
And actually, that was my next question, where you found yourself by reflecting to make that decision. That's such a difficult decision to step out of the relationship and maybe focus on yourself and on your son. And again, it doesn't mean just both parents are not under one roof, a family is broken. It still can be a family.
It still was,
exactly.
I continued to invite my husband, even when we were divorced. Actually, we lived very close by. I had an apartment, there was a park, and his apartment was across the park.
Nice.
So my son could walk from one parent to another if he wanted to.
Yes.
And every time there was something major, like Christmas, Easter, I invited my ex-husband to come and have breakfast with us or dinner, and especially in the beginning, we would have a dinner night with the 3 of us once a week. So my son had time to kind of get into the new situation, because new situation for people on the spectrum are pretty traumatic.
Of course.
So you have to give him time to get to, and then he was with his father every other weekend, and the rest of the time he was with me.
Yes.
So I was a single mom most of the time.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
And that takes us to the next sort of a skill of co-parenting, and how important it is for the child or the children of the family to see it gradually happening. Of course, a separation happens and adults decide to separate and not be together, and it can happen overnight. But is this the consequences later on, right? What happens later on and how mindful we are. And I think the number 1 in the list of being mindful is the co-parenting, which you were doing it with your ex-husband. So that way your son gradually can start adapting to the new routine. As my son Yanni says, the new normal, and then eventually, make it into a habit and part of life.
And it's very important to kind of lay out rules. We actually wrote a parent plan. So in that plan, we had all type of questions. For example, what happens when a new partner comes in the picture? We decided we wanted to know from each other if there's a new partner. We want to meet that new partner first.
Yes.
Before we actually kind of told to my son, here's my new partner.
Of course.
So that was one of the rules. Another rule is if something happens on school, I get a phone call from school, I'll tell my husband about the phone call, ex-husband. So we kind of, anything that involved my son, that was still joint.
Absolutely.
I took most of the decisions, but I explained or talked with my ex-husband first.
Yes.
I was the main caretaker, also on paper. But when COVID actually hit, my ex-husband is 18 years older than I am. He got in his retirement years.
Okay.
And he was home alone. And then he was like, is it okay if yours comes to me like every other week instead of only in the weekends? I was like, sure, if that is what he wants. And he was like, yeah, I'd love to. When he was little, we didn't want him to move houses too much.
Right.
Because it was too much for him to deal and handle it.
Yes.
So when COVID became, he was older, of course.
Yes.
And then he started to live with his father for a week and then again with me for a week. And that gave a whole new dynamic.
Yeah.
And he got his father to know his father on a different level, which was
sure.
amazing for them
Of
to
course.
finally connect on a different level.
So he was happy with that 1 week on and off. He
We
was
actually, my son was very mature even at younger age. So he was 7 when we got divorced. We did tell him that we were getting divorced. Of course, he was very sad, frustrated, angry,
Of course.
slammed doors, cried, ran out of the room. But I continued to talk with him. I explained him everything.
Yes.
Explained him the reason why. Explained him, I still love your father as a human being.
Yes.
I'm no longer in love with him. And I think you need to be in love with a person if you live with that person.
Yes.
And I want to prevent that we're gonna dislike each other or hate each other. So that's the reason why we're getting divorced.
Definitely.
And he understood that. He understood that being in love is something else than loving a person.
Yes. A mature young man.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I can see the reason why. Such a mom. It's important then, as a co-parenting, what you and your ex-husband did together is to set up some rules.
But when we got divorced, our divorce attorney actually told us about the parent plan. So we looked it up online.
Oh, nice.
Parent plan, and you actually get like a few examples.
Yeah, like
and then we took it over, made it our own.
Of course.
And then we had to sign it.
Okay.
Before we actually signed the divorce papers, we had to sign the parent plan.
Okay, yes.
And everything was in there. Rules, regulation, also the basics, what he needs. We gave each other advice as a parent.
Yes.
My husband told me, you need to let go more. I was a very overruling, I want to protect my son kind of parent. And my ex-husband said, it's time for you to let go more. So actually, that's good advice. I found it very difficult. I did later on, not at that moment, because he was only 7. I didn't want to let go.
Of course. It's interesting you say that he advised you have to let go more. A friend of mine, Mary, she said, start getting used to losing control.
Yep.
And I was like, what does that mean, losing control? Because you're used to that structure and maybe you're the main decision maker. But then, of course, the father or the mother of that child still has the right to make decisions on that child. And then it's not only you, there's the other parent too. And so I had to give up that control that we have. Yes.
That child is not going to be little for very long.
Exactly.
By the time they are 12, they're kind of like already going into maturity, like being an adult.
Yes.
So if you're not able to let go, it's going to be very difficult puberty. So letting go is one of the biggest lessons I had to learn. My mom said when I turned 12 or 13, I have been raising you, now I'm starting to guide you. So if you've done your job properly as a parent, you can let go, because everything you taught your children is in them. They know how to behave. They know how to be a nice or loving person. They know the rules and the regulations of the house. They know the rules and regulations of the world, of society. So you can let go, but you're still there. I'm not just letting go, it's like fly away and no, I'm still there, but I'm kind of more guiding him. So I'm here if you have a question. If I see something, I'm kind of like, I should have, that situation, I think I would have dealt it differently. At that time, I'm not saying a thing, but after, that situation we were in, can I tell you how I would handle it? I say, yeah, sure. So we have a discussion and a talk about it. It's like, actually, good point, Mom. So I'm no longer his parent, but I'm more or less on the sidelines.
Right.
He's an adult, so I need to be able to let go and let him grow into the adult he wants to be.
Yeah, and make mistakes.
Well,
we learn that, right?
We learn mistakes make us great.
Oh, for sure.
Mistakes actually gives us the life lessons we need to learn.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Actually, I think children, they start noticing face expression, body language, attitude, energy in the house, how different things start, evolving, actually.
My son actually, I think 2 years ago, he said, Mom, you getting divorced was actually the best decision you could take.
Wow.
Because I know we are so much happier now than we would have been if we were still in that marriage.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I mean, for a personal level, which it was not my choice, for us to separate and get divorced. But I end up accepting it a little bit later in life. But then I started realizing, actually, this happened for me. I started rediscovering myself.
Yeah,
I had no idea what's happening. Exactly the same thing. What happens to us that throughout the marriage, we are as if we're asleep. I mean, for me, I woke up after 20 years. It took me 20 years to wake up, and it had to be just because I got separated.
There are several layers, and it also is generational. Every generation has a different moment they wake up. My generation, your generation, so that's between, say, 40, 55.
Yes.
They get a wake-up call around 40. So you are born awake. You are born very spiritual. Everyone is. Then society, education, parents, everything is there to kind of get you into a mold that society wants you to be in. If you look at who you are as a person, I always say people are just like onions. You have the heart of the onion, that's your true identity. That's who you truly are. And then you get conditioned in life a lot. School, society, parents. So there's many layers on top of your true heart.
Yes.
And then by the time you're 40, your hormones start to change. Because your hormones start to change, so estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, they all start to drop slowly in the beginning. And then because they start to slowly disappear, your brain function also starts to change. Around 40, people start asking themselves the questions, why am I here? What's my mission? What's my soul mission? Is this really who I am? Is this the life I want to lead? That all mostly happens around 40, 35, 45, in between those years.
Are we talking in particular female here, women here, or just both men and women?
No, this is for female. Men
only.
also go through a certain phase, also around their 40th, because their testosterone level starts dropping.
Okay.
So when I was young, our neighbor got into, they call it then the midlife crisis. I don't know if that's still the term, but midlife crisis means he's gonna buy himself a sports car. He wants to have a young wife. Why? Because testosterone is dropping. They no longer feel the vital masculine men they used to were because testosterone is dropping. And they still want to have that feeling. So they start acting like a puberty. Like a young adult.
Yes.
And the wife season is like, grow up. Because she's in a completely different mindset. She never gets into her puberty, which we're young, we get into adulthood. And by the time you're 40, then you start to think again, like, I want to embrace my inner child. It happens around 50. Both start changing on hormonal basis a lot, which also changes the brain function. If you're in a relationship, you don't talk about it, you don't see it in each other, you don't kind of connect on that level, then you start to lose each other because you're turning to become into another woman and into another man.
So are you relating the changes of hormones, the way we act in our relationship, in our marriages? And so are those two together related then? Like,
they are. We're not aware of it, but
we're not.
Because our hormones start changing, our mindset changes. And also, like I said, as a woman, you start asking questions like, is this really who I am? Is this what I want to do the rest of my life? Then you start asking questions, why am I the only one here in the household doing everything? Because mostly women are doing everything.
Mostly.
Not in all marriages, but in a lot of them still. Even in marriages, I hear with people that are married young, even then the rules are still the wife does everything, the man works. But in the old days, the wife would stay home, take care of the children, do everything, and the man works. But these days, the women also work. So our load is doubled. And they still, society, everyone still kind of expects it of us to do everything still, which is impossible. It is not possible. And by the time you turn 30, 45, you start questioning like, why am I doing everything here alone? That is hormonal because estrogen is kind of like, I'm taking care of everyone, the nurturing hormone. And if that starts dropping, and especially around 45, it starts dropping drastically, then you're kind of like, why am I doing everything? And you start to set your boundaries more, and you start to choose yourself more. So around 45, 50, a lot of women get into perimenopause, which also means they start questioning the big life questions, and they start to set more boundaries, and they start to explore themselves again. Because the life questions, they pop up, but you have no answer to.
Yeah.
And because you want the answer, you start to explore yourself.
Exactly.
You start to look at yourself. And that is why I host women's circles. So I help women to explore themselves.
You help women to explore and understand their body changes and everything that is
Their
going
mindset.
Obviously internal.
Yeah.
And then how to.
And you could do that with belief work, shadow work. Shadow work is actually asking yourself the questions you don't want to ask.
Oh, wow.
Because those questions
I have lots of those
questions. A lot of people are not aware that our brain has a conscious and a subconscious.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people think it's half-half, but that's not the case. It's 1 to 5% is conscious, which means at least 95% of our brain is subconscious.
Subconscious. 95%?
Like 95% at least. It's more.
Wow.
Which means we don't tap into all that knowledge that is in there in the subconscious part. And if you start doing shadow work and ask yourself the questions you don't want to ask, especially when you do it during meditation, because you're then in theta mindset, it's in a different frequency of mind.
Yes.
Then your answers come from your subconscious. And then you actually get the true answers. Your conscious brain is just there to survive. It's your survival instinct.
Yes.
It's the patterns that you do day to day. So you wake up, you shower, you eat breakfast. That is conscious.
Yes.
But everything else is subconscious.
Wow. At least 95% you're saying. That's a big number.
And we never tap into that knowledge.
We don't
there's
tap.
so much knowledge stored in there. Not only ours, but also in your DNA, from your history, from your parents, your pre-sisters, ancient history. DNA is not just the color of your hair and the color of your eyes.
No.
Some people actually have vivid memories that are not their own. It's in our DNA. It's been passed down many generations.
Yeah.
Most people are very connected, almost everyone, with their, I call it reptile brain. And that is the part of your brain that is there to protect you, but it's very present. So you live in a fear of state, freeze, fight, flight. Freeze, fight, flight. Those are the three that come into your life on a daily basis. Those are the trigger points also.
Yeah.
When you get in a divorce, you're gonna act according to one of those three. You're gonna fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
But it happens every day of your life. That brain, reptile brain, is in the front of you. It's kind of like taking control. And if you're living in those three, that actually has a lot of toll on your nervous system, on your body. So I help women to look past the fear, to look past their reptile brain, and to connect more with who they truly are.
Yes.
Like the heart of the onion instead of all the layers.
Yeah.
So around the time you're 35, 40, you start laying down those layers. You start looking, exploring at yourself. Those are patterns. And once you see the patterns, you let go. Then the next layer, then the next layer, until you're back to your core. Going back to your core, some people, women, are just like there. They have an epiphany, they're like, okay, and they're, again, their true, beautiful, true self.
Yeah.
Most of them, it takes a lifetime to let go of all those layers.
Or maybe even never, actually.
Well, there are people that don't want to work on themselves on that level.
Yes.
So yeah, they stay in that mindset. Yeah.
Not that we're advocating for people to divorce, for them to go through that level.
No. You can do that while you're in a marriage. Like I said, if your husband and your wife, and you're very aware of your hormonal changes in your body, which also changes your brain, and you help and connect with each other and talk about it and be open about it, because a lot of marriages you don't talk. And often, as a wife starts to explain what she feels, how she feels, she's not happy, she needs a change. The man hears it, but doesn't implement it because he doesn't know what to do. And if they don't know what to do, then the fear brain gets in, the reptile brain gets kicked in. It's like, I don't know what to do. And then they're like, okay, I freeze or I fight. So he starts to, but you do this. And then the wife, like, you do that. It's
Right.
not helpful, but it's normal. It's explainable. It's the reptile brain that takes over because you're afraid you don't want to get divorced.
Yes.
So, but if you start talking about what you actually feel and acknowledge what you actually need from
Yes.
each other, and a lot of men start to be aware of when a wife goes through perimenopause and menopause, it's actually a blessing because she starts to set her boundaries. And as a man, if you're in your masculine energy, like, you know what, it's your time. You're exactly right. I'm going to take over some of the load, household chores mostly, and you be you. And you let me be me. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
You can still be together. You don't have to separate.
No.
If you talk about it, explain it, and understand each other. And if the conversation is not fluent, go to someone that can help you, like a marriage counselor or...
Definitely.
Yeah. Women forget themselves as soon as they're completely occupied and into the marriage being a mom. Because the estrogen in our body
Yes.
kind of forces us, without us being aware of it, we have to take care of everyone around us, but we forget we're there too. So we are moms, we are husbands, we are wives, we are daughters, we are aunts.
Yeah.
You help school, you do everything for everyone else, but you don't do anything for you.
Yes.
So give yourself at least, say, 5 to 6 hours once a week to be you. Because after I divorced, I had to find myself again. You shouldn't. You should maintain who you truly are your whole life. You shouldn't change because you're in a relationship because you're a mom, you're married. You're you.
Yeah.
But we kind of forget who we are because we're taking care of everyone else.
Yeah.
And that can be going to a hairdresser. It can be getting your nail done, pedicure, massage. But it can also be journaling, meditating, meeting up with girlfriends. Very important. Stay in contact with other women because they're very accountable of who you are.
Yeah.
And they keep you grounded.
Interesting, because when my separation happened, I went had a coffee with a friend, and he actually asked me, "What does Yolanda like? And what does Yolanda like to do?" I could not answer that question. I didn't know. Who is Yolanda? Ni idea. I had no idea.
Yeah, and that is something you can only blame yourself.
For
you
sure.
can't blame your
No.
ex or your
No.
husband. It's something you
We are
do.
responsible.
You consciously do. You're
Yeah.
responsible for it yourself.
We're responsible.
So my advice is to women, be very conscious of who you are.
Yeah.
And maintain that level of consciousness your whole life.
Yes, for sure. And men too.
Yeah, well, men don't actually forget themselves in a marriage. They still do the things they want to do. They still go out with friends and explore themselves and enjoy themselves outside of the marriage.
I think they have other kind of pressures, like especially financial.
Society has a lot of pressure on them.
them, for sure. Their work, their businesses, how to run everything, and also the responsibility of a family. They do lose themselves, maybe in a different way that we do, but also a good reminder that they also should remember themselves and continue with their hobbies or their sports, the gym, and things that they really like to do.
And what men often don't do, but what is also very wholesome for them to do, is to actually talk with other men.
Yeah.
And not just about sports or politics, and actually start asking yourself very life empowering questions.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
They should actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are special man groups that do that, but not much.
Right.
It's more women. They call it women's circles, but it's actually us connecting with each other because we are keeping each other accountable for who we truly
Exactly.
are. And that also happens when men are connected with each other. Then they call it heart coherent. So your heart, when you're with like-minded, your hearts and your breath work even starts to be clocked. You're kind of like, you're on the same level. And if that happens, then it makes it easier to connect with each other, your stress level drop.
For sure.
So that's why it's very important to keep in contact with
Definitely.
your friends.
My last question, what would you advise Kim 20 years ago, 15 years ago?
Choose you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, choose yourself more instead of being completely in the whole dynamics of being a mom. I love being a mom.
For sure,
And I was very proud when it didn't come easy. It took me 2 years to finally get pregnant. And I was so happy when it finally, and when my son arrived, the first thing I said, there you are.
Aww.
Because I was kind of like, finally,
Yeah.
you're here. So it is easy to get caught up in that pink cloud of being a mom and of being a wife, but don't forget you're there too. So keep contact with your friends, keep in contact with yourself, start asking yourself, asking yourself those very important life questions.
Yeah.
What is it that I want in life?
Yes.
What lights me up? What is my mission? Those questions.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, Kim, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
This was so amazing. I've learned so much.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so
You're welcome.